first thing he said when he walked in the room was, "What have you been exposed to?" Because the way your cancer is presenting, toxic exposure is the only thing that could have caused this. We were kind of shocked and stunned. And then he said, "Listen, I need to be honest with you." He said, "You have maybe 4 to 6 weeks to live." And of course, Heath just collapsed. I held him up. He almost fell to the ground. I kind of put him up against a wall and just held him. As soon as we were in that room, like, he thought of Brielle, and he's just like, "I need longer." Like, of course, she's 3 years old. So of course, he just right away looked up and he said, "We're fighting this. Let's go." Heath was very dedicated to his job and work, and the uniform was his identity. He was just very proud of serving, and he was always up for helping his fellow soldiers. He was just an all-around good soldier, very dedicated, worked 100% at what he did.
Both in and out of the uniform, Sir Robinson is one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life. He always was striving to do better, make everybody around him better. He was very much a lead by example leader. Thinking back to Iraq, we were there in 2006, 2007. He very much was doing everything, kind of the right way, and showing everybody else, "Come, hey, follow me."
I wouldn't say loved deploying, but loved being over there, and it was more of a peacekeeping mission at the time. And he absolutely, he talked about all the kids that he came across, and he just really enjoyed interacting with them over there. Heath's deployment was in 2006, 2007, and he began having early symptoms 2016, diagnosed in 2017. So it was 10 years.
I ran into him here in the classroom, and he kind of pulled me aside and kind of let me know what was going on. And it was more about, "Hey, make sure you're taking care of yourself, because this is what I'm going through," And it wasn't, "Hey, this is what's going on with me." You see the most fit, athletic guy that took care of himself, that had no reason to end up that way. You see what it does to him, and it makes you really worry, about mere mortals like us. How do we, I guess, deal with that?
He just continued to battle his stage 4 lung cancer. He would wake up in the morning and he would help get Brielle ready and see her off to school. And he was very proactive. He just, was very active with Brielle when she was a little baby. He would feed her and hold her, and he would get down on the floor and play with her. And when he was sick, he actually became her soccer coach and was dedicated to her sports and trying to still stay active with her. He would often, visit with his family and friends, and just try to make them laugh, even though a lot of us were kind of the sad ones, or maybe we'd have a down moment. It still seemed like he was still the one that always wanted to bring everybody else's spirits up. He was my rock, and I didn't realize it until after he had passed, how much he just had such a calming demeanor on me. He would somehow always know how to make me smile or get my mind off work, and we shared so many different laughs, and definitely miss his laugh the most. So we have a lot of good memories with a lot of good laughs over the years. So the PACT Act is a piece of legislation that now the VA is held accountable by Congress to basically make sure that they are tracking veteran illnesses for signs and symptoms of any toxic exposure-related illnesses.
If we're willing to send veterans to fight and die for our country, it's really easy to see how that correlation's made, and we need to be taking care of them. So I think it's great that happened, and I think it's terrible that we had to do it.
I had no idea that it was going to be named after him. I was actually on a vacation and got a phone call from John Thiel, who is in charge of the Feel Good Foundation for the 9/11 first responders who teamed up with Jon Stewart. He had called me and said, I want you to know that Senator Schumer wants to name the PACT Act after he. He would have been on cloud nine knowing that the PACT Act is named after him, considering, his long 3-year struggle with it and not being able to go forward. And he wanted to testify in front of Congress and he didn't get that chance. So he didn't get to have his voice heard. So this is a way of Heath's voice being heard. I don't want to say it was meant to be, but for some reason, it was Heath for a reason. And I knew he was with us during our battle and our struggle for the PACT Act. And I knew I was doing what I was supposed to do. And I know that maybe his life was a sacrifice for, the PACT Act and for so many of his other brothers and sisters are now hopefully going to get the health care that they deserve. And the VA is going to acknowledge this. So it was for a reason.